الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. On Monday we talked about the journey of Sayyidina Abu al-As, the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the husband of Zainab radiyallahu anha. When he embraced Islam, he decided to say goodbye to everything in Makkah, and he decided to undertake the blessed journey of migration to Medina. So he made hijrah to Medina. When he arrived in Medina, he declared his Islam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam became very happy. And then eventually Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam allowed his daughter Zainab radiyallahu anha to rejoin Abu al-As radiyallahu anhu. Now he was a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam since he embraced Islam. He loved her very much as well, and the evidence of that, he didn't get married even though his wife left in the second year of Hijrah, and he remained in Makkah for a couple of years. And Zainab radiyallahu anha loved him very much as well, and she remained single as well all this time in Medina. So now when they returned, Zainab radiyallahu anha didn't get to live for too long after that. She lived for probably a year or a little bit more than a year, and in the 8th year of migration she passed away, in the year that Makkah was conquered. But you know what's even more interesting is that Abu al-As radiyallahu anhu also passed away a year after that. He didn't get married after that either, but only a year after that he passed away as well. So both of them, they returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at a pretty young age. And as I told you, Abu al-As was actually the nephew of the Khadija radiyallahu anha, the beloved wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they were related in that relationship as well. Now when they got together in Medina, there is a debate amongst the scholars on one issue. The issue is, if two people who were married to each other, husband and wife, and they were not Muslim, and all together they embrace Islam, the husband and wife together embrace Islam, so all the scholars unanimously agree that their nikah, their marriage will remain intact. They don't need to do a new marriage. They don't need to enter into a new nikah. The nikah that they had done before Islam, while they were Christian or Jew or Hindu, whatever they were, that will remain intact, and that's acceptable if they embrace Islam together. What will happen? Now, this only applies to situations if there is no other objection to it. If there's another objection to it, like if someone got married to a wrong woman who happens to be haram for him in Islam, like someone who is related to him, like his aunt or his niece or someone like that, then that would not be halal, that would not be permissible. Or in this scenario, we see marriages happening between gays and lesbians. So of course, that's not going to happen. If two gay people embrace Islam and they say we're married, they're not going to be married anymore. Or if two lesbians, they say we were married, can we be married? No, you cannot be. Their marriage is over once you come into Islam. So provided that there is no other objection. Now, if the wife embraces Islam before the husband, and the husband refuses to, which is also a scenario that happens often. It's not a hypothetical scenario. It's something that happens practically. If the wife embraces Islam and the husband doesn't, so do they remain married in the eyes of Islam, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well, or not? The answer is their marriage is now suspended, which means the wife will begin to count her days of iddah, three months or 3 menstrual cycles, and during this period, if the husband decides to embrace Islam, good. Now their marriage will remain intact and they can stay together. But if the husband allows that period to expire and he's still on his disbelief, he is not coming to Islam, then they have to separate. The wife has to pack her bag, or wife has to separate herself from that husband. She cannot be with him anymore because their nikah is not valid anymore, is broken. That is the opinion of majority of scholars. What happened in this case, in case of Zainab radiallahu anha and Abu al-As radiallahu anhu? Now, when he came back, did they have to perform a new nikah? There is evidence on both sides. Some have stated that there was no new nikah performed between Zainab radiallahu anha and Abu al-As radiallahu anhu. And others, which are in majority, they established the fact that yes, new nikah was performed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and new mahr was announced and paid as well. بِنِكَاحٍ جَدِيدٍ وَصِدَاقٍ جَدِيدٍ, which means the old nikah was not valid anymore because it had been cut off. Another thing that added to that, a layer that was added to their separation, was also her physically leaving the home of Abu al-As and coming to Medina. So that's called tabayyunud dar. When the homes of the husband and wife separate, that's another reason that nikah is not good anymore. New nikah has to be done. So the scholars say that new nikah was done in case of Zainab radiallahu anha as well. But even if new nikah was not done in case of Zainab radiallahu anha, still their old nikah may have remained intact, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah in Surah Al-Mumtahina where He said, لَا هُنَّ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحِلُّونَ لَهُنْ. And this applied generally to all the Muslim women who were married to mushrik men. Now, if any woman who was married to a mushrik man, to a pagan man from Makkah or elsewhere, as soon as the woman embraced Islam, her nikah was considered broken. Her nikah was not valid anymore. So this ayah perhaps was revealed later. And when this ayah was revealed, that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu al-As, when he was being released in the aftermath of the Battle of Badr, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, you need to send my daughter back home because she's not halal for you. You're not Muslim, she's Muslim. And now she's not halal for you, you're not halal for her. Therefore, you need to send her back to my home in Medina. And this is why he sent her back. But afterwards, when Allah opened his heart as well, he came back, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed their nikah again and kept them together. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
I want to say something.